And it was the first one that he painted. He talked about how this is the first place he felt that really felt like home, and how simple the room was and how bright the colors were. So he actually painted this one when he was there in the house. Hi, this is Anita from 5 Minutes with Art. Also from the website Anita Louise Art, where we believe art should make you happy. And that's one reason why we love Van Gogh so much, because Van Gogh's art sort of makes me happy. When I look at his art, I feel happy. I love the happy colors. I love his technique. I love the way he paints. So today we're going to talk a little bit again about Van Gogh. And in particular, we're going to talk about his paintings, about his bedroom. What's really interesting about this is that Van Gogh rented this yellow house, and he painted some pictures of his yellow house. And in 1888, he wrote to his brother Theo and said, "Ah, well, today I rented the right hand wing of this building, which contains 4 rooms, and more precisely 2 with 2 little rooms. It's painted yellow outside, whitewashed inside. In the full sunshine, I've rented it for 15 francs a month. Now, what I'd like to do is to furnish a room. The one on the first floor, to be able to sleep there. The studio, the store will remain here for the whole of the campaign here in the South, and that way I have my independence from petty squabbles over guest houses, which are ruinous and depress me. In fact, Bernard writes me that he too has a whole house." So we learned from this letter that he was able to rent this house, and that this really was like one of the first houses that he was able to rent, and of course meant a lot for him to be able to have this house, and to have this house that had these bedrooms in it. Bernard, of course, was his other artist friend. But, we learned from this letter that he, basically he rented this house, and that he took a lot of love and care into this house. And later he wrote some letters where you can read them actually on our website. We'll put a link on, and he talks a lot about the furniture and how he wanted the furniture to be simple, and how he wanted to have this simple room, and he wanted to have a sturdy piece of furniture and a sturdy table and a sturdy desk. And he talks a lot about his postman friend who came, and basically his postman friend came, who was Joseph and Augustine Roland, and that, how he basically helped him, gave him some, guidance and basically how to furnish this house and to furnish his rooms. He mentioned also, too, that he bought 12 chairs, and many people say that he thought 12 chairs symbolized the 12 apostles. That's why he had 12 different chairs in his house. What is interesting, though, is he painted the bedroom of this house 3 times. And all 3 of these have survived. And you can see one of them in the United States, you can see one in Holland, and one in Paris. So if you're any of those places, some of these museums, you should be able to see one of these bedrooms. The first one that he painted, which is at the Art Institute in Chicago, was painted in 1889. And this was the one that he actually painted when he was in... Sorry, I have to go over again, so stop that, okay? The first bedroom he painted was in 1888, and this is located at the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. And this is the one that he painted just after he moved into the Yellow House in Arles, France. So this was the one that he painted when he was there in France, and he was at the house, and it was the first one that he painted. He talked about how this is the first place he felt that really felt like home, and how simple the room was and how bright the colors were. So he actually painted this one when he was there in the house. He also talked about flattening the painting and purposely giving the bedroom a kind of skewed angle that would represent more like Japanese woodblock prints. The second one he painted was in 1889, and he painted this when he was at the asylum. And he wanted to paint this, so he sort of painted this from memory, more or less, because he was worried that the first painting he had would have water damage. So he painted the second one. It is very similar to the first one, but if you look, there's a few differences, but he, really had pretty good memory and to remember exactly, what the first one was like versus the second one was like. They're very similar to each other. The colors might be a little bit different, but they're actually quite similar to each other. The last one he also painted when he was at the asylum, and this is located in a museum in France. And this bedroom is a smaller version. He painted this as a gift for his mother and his sister. So he basically wanted to send this to his mother and his sister to show them a little bit about his bedroom, and he painted it to them as a gift. What's interesting about this one is somehow this painting ended up in Japan and later was sold back to France with a treaty of peace with Japan. So Japan sold it back to France in actually 1959. It's really wonderful because every single one of these paintings are still surviving, and you're able to view them in 3 different museums around the world in 3 different countries. So if you have a chance to be in any of these museums, take the opportunity, the chance to go see Van Gogh's painting of his bedroom. This is Anita from 5 Minutes with Art. We hope you've enjoyed this 5 minutes with something to do with art. We hope you'll subscribe to us to continue to learn just 5 minutes a week about something new about art that we can share with you. We'd like to thank our team, specifically Rico, for helping put this together, and we're thankful for all of you, our listeners.